Ladies and gentlemen, FTP Radio, Fight the Power Radio, which is a union of super friends, Dash Radio, Zoe Williams, and Twitch have come together to do the George Floyd Fight the Power Benefit stream. I have on with me right now the attorney of the Floyd family, man, brother Benjamin Crump. Let me say thank you for coming in here, brother. I know you're busy. Talk to us about the developments and everything that's happening in the case up to the minute that we don't know about right now.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on. I love the Fight the Power Radio. When my sister Lolita told me about it, I said I had to do it because that's what we have to do is fight the power, brother. So keep doing what you're doing. Tell my frat brother Petty I said what's up too.
I will.
So with that, in George Floyd and his family, we're all here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, about to get ready to memorialize him tomorrow. He will be laid to rest next Tuesday in his hometown of Houston, Texas. But with that said, you all should have seen the recent developments that the family retained private forensic scientists to do a private autopsy for the family to combat what the Minneapolis District Attorney's medical examiner has said. And those pathologists were Dr. Michael Baden, who's world-renowned, and a sharp sister named Dr. Alicia Wilson, who is the head of, she's the head of forensic pathology. Okay, I got a phone call, so I apologize. The head of forensic pathology and forensic sciences at the University of Michigan. They concluded in a nutshell that the manner and cause of death medically was mechanical asphyxia. And that is because his knee was on his neck, Officer Chauvin, and the other officer had two knees in his back, pressing down on his lungs where they could not expand and take in and dispense air. And also it prevented blood from flowing to his brain. And so that lack of oxygen is what he died from medically. And then legally, he died classification homicide. And that is critical because it says it was not of natural causes why he died. Now you juxtapose that with what the county medical examiner was trying to say, that he had some underlying health condition, just like they tried to say with Eric Gardner. You remember the original I Can't Breathe case. And then talking about he had fentanyl and methamphetamine in the system as being contributing causes. And that's crazy because as our doctors said, who did an autopsy for the family, he was breathing, walking, talking just fine until this officer put his knee on his neck for 9 minutes. They put the knee in the back for 9 minutes and they didn't offer him any humanity when he kept saying, I can't breathe, over and over again. And he got so desperate that he literally said, mama. I mean, that the first person who we know in nature to protect us in life is our mama. And that's who he called out for. So I'm excited to tell your audience that Attorney General Keith Ellison arrested all of the officers today. The 3 other ones were arrested and charged with aiding and abetting murder. And the charges were upgraded on Officer Chauvin to 2nd-degree murder. And he informed the family that the investigation is ongoing, and if they get evidence discovered that will be able to substantiate a 1st-degree murder claim, that he would upgrade the charges. So the family is very relieved as they get ready to memorialize George tomorrow. At least all the officers have been arrested.
So can you just briefly tell us what's the difference between 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree murder?
About 15 years in a nutshell.
About 15 years in a nutshell.
He can get up to 30 years, and that's even with doing the average sentence. And with this 3rd-degree murder, which is a little I won't say, but we were shocked that you would say third degree murder. You've heard a lot of times the first degree, second degree. Who heard about, and that's what Keith Ellison said. Oftentimes, yeah, man, and that's a great word. They undercharge police when they kill us, and they overcharge us when they give us a trumped up charge. So it's like I say in my book, The Open Season, to legalize genocide of colored people. Poor people of color always get the most of injustice and the least of justice, no matter what the situation is.
Brother, you are saying something that we all want to hear, but my question to you is, if they don't come back with convictions, do you think the civil unrest and the disappointment in general of Black people that Black people have in the system in general, do you think it'll go away if these officers are not charged and convicted?
Well, I do think that people will be outraged if these officers are not convicted of murdering George Floyd, because we all saw this horrific video. And people keep saying it's the protesters who started the fires that are burning in cities all across America. I object to that. I believe it is police brutality and a racist criminal justice system while these cities are burning all across America. And the only way to extinguish those fires is to have police accountability and equal justice. Because we can't have two criminal justice systems in America, one for Black America and one for white America. We have to have equal justice for the United States of America.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I have one final question. You said it was a combination of things that led to the good brother's death. Chauvin's knee was on his neck for 9 minutes. And then you said a second officer, what was that officer's name?
I'm not sure, but he had his two knees in his back.
In his back, so his lungs couldn't expand to take in air, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Will that officer be charged the same as Chauvin? Should he be charged the same as Chauvin? Because it seems like his actions were in conjunction with Chauvin's actions.
Yeah, well, and that's a good question. Attorney Keith Ellison is still investigating the matter. I know that one of the big things why Chauvin was charged the way he was charged was they had the body cam video audio. And the audio, when one of the officers said he doesn't have a post, maybe we should turn him over on his side. Officer Chauvin said, no, we'll keep him in this position. And to me, that suggests intent.
Intent, yes.
So that's why we always keep saying it should be first degree murder. But I think that's why the officers were charged differently, because it seemed like there was somebody who, after he lost his post, said we should turn him on his side. They at least thought that they should try to offer him some humanity, whereas Officer Chauvin offered him none.
Denied humanity, no empathy. And they always tell us that the one thing that can identify a sociopath or a psychopath is the lack of empathy. And we have to start injecting empathy into the police departments and precincts all around the country in order for fair treatment of Black people when we have to engage with them. And I think that's a big piece of our healing process. If we do not get an empathetic police force, we're gonna have more of these. And unfortunately, there's gonna be more deaths like this because they don't know how to engage with.
Exactly. So we have to have systematic change on the federal level, all across America. I appreciate you, brother. Keep fighting the power. God bless you. Shout out to Lolita Files, one of the greatest writers we know in this generation.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All right, God bless.
All right, you too.